This week we're reading Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood, otherwise known as You Know It's Problematic, But You're Gonna Eat It.
Hi readers, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Katie.
And welcome to Not Another Heroine, the book pod where we celebrate the heroines we love
and roast the ones we don't. We'll be your TBR FGMs.
Fairy godmothers.
And find you the best 5-star reads, the spiciest romance, and save you from the overhyped DNFs.
So grab your favorite drink and get cozy. Welcome to Season 3. We have so much to talk about with this one.
Yes.
Mostly because you and I have very conflicting views on this particular story.
I read this when it first came out. I bought a copy of it. I feel like that
You have a hard copy?
Yes, I do.
Katie.
And I want to read it again. It was like 2 weeks ago, but I want to.
Wow.
I want to do it again.
It is a very easy read. It's a quick, easy read. I enjoyed it. I finished it. But I didn't love the heroine.
Woof.
And I didn't love the story as much.
Woof.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think this one is in my top spot, tied with the Love Hypothesis for Ali Hazelwood book.
So let's get the biggest thing that you need to know about this book is there is a 15-year age difference between the heroine and her love interest.
That is the problematic part of the summer romance.
So if that is a huge red flag for you, can't stomach it, please don't open this book.
Yeah. I will say, I think we've talked about it offline or off pod or whatever.
Off pod?
I don't know. Off pod. That our main character does get the Bella Swan treatment where you are very much aged up, even though you're in your, early teens or late teens, early 20s. You feel like a 30-year-old maybe in some of your dialogue and thought processes. She has a little touch of this, I would say.
So I think that is why the age gap works in this one. So that's kind of one of my notes, though, is that age gaps only function in a healthy manner if the younger partner is aged up mentally or emotionally. And it's usually due to some sort of trauma or life stress that they go through beforehand. And that's exactly what happens with Maya.
Yeah.
So Maya's our main chick, and background on her is she's brilliant. She's an astrophysicist. She's finishing up her graduate degree or her doctorate,
I think.
Yeah. So she's 23, right? And she's had some shit happen in her life. Lost her parents when she was 14, I think, in a car accident. She had a great relationship with her parents. And so when that happened, she had to move in with her older brother, who she was estranged from her entire life. And her parents had a strained relationship with him. And he's not as old, 11 years older, I think.
I would think so, because he's the same age as the love interest or around.
Yeah. So he's, in his 30s or not in his 30s, he's in his late 20s when he starts raising Maya.
Yeah.
But so she starts acting out as a teenager because she lost her parents. She's living with this brother she doesn't know, and she thinks he's an asshole. So she gets into drugs and sex and all sorts of shit when she's a teenager. She has anger management problems, and she lashes out violently.
Yeah.
So she goes through a lot as a teenager. And I think all of those things serve to, one, it forces her into therapy, and she learns a lot of coping skills and how to interact with the world. And I think that is what contributes to her maturity. If you believe in her maturity as a 23-year-old, I think it's those experiences and the fact that she self-reflects a lot. She says, I have anger problems, and so I'm going to walk away right now because my therapist taught me coping mechanisms.
And I also think too, because so she goes through this period of being a kind of crazy wild child, and then she decides to go abroad for school so that she can kind of have a fresh start. And I think that also kind of contributes to her feeling a little bit more mature, because she's tried to move on from something crazy and learn her lessons from it, which I think is a little bit more of a mature thing than just continuing.
And it takes a lot of courage to just completely uproot your life and put yourself in a country where you have no friends, no network, no structure, and you're just I'm here to wing it.
Yep. Do we want to just jump into the plot? Because I think that's where it starts, right?
Yeah, I think the things that we want to talk about, our notes, are going to come up organically as we get through the plot, because there isn't a whole lot of plot. It's a week-long plot.
Yep, basically. Well, a week long in the present, but this book has flashbacks.
The flashbacks are lovely.
I love them.
They're so good. And the tension that is caused by the flashbacks overlaid with the present timeline. Ali Hazelwood knows how to do tension.
Yeah. I don't know how she brainchild this plot, though, like with all the interspaces of the flashbacks, because they're so like perfectly timed with like what's happening that I don't know. She must have had like sticky notes or like.
I imagine that she did not write the plot like in order. I think she probably wrote the flashbacks as she had the scenes in her mind, and then she interspersed them, like cut and pasted throughout.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
that's the only way I can.
Because I don't know that you would be able to like keep all the plot lines like together otherwise. Jeez. This also is related to the Not in Love book by Ali Hazelwood. This is like technically kind of like a
sequel. But you don't need. I did not read Not in Love, and I read this one just fine.
So, flash to the present. They are in Italy for Eli and Rue's wedding. Eli is her older brother. And we get a lot of inner monologue. She is, Maya, very nervous about going to this wedding.
I wonder why.
We get a lot of tension. She tries to find a way out of it at one point, and she's like, well, that would be a bitch thing to do to my brother. I'm going to figure out how to get to this wedding. And so she does, and she shows up, and she's nervous the whole time.
And she's traveling. She ends up arriving in Sicily on the same day as this other beautiful woman who's like stunning and put together and also kind and sweet. Don't you hate those people?
Yeah. She even makes a joke about it too, because she's like the other girl. I don't even know what her name is.
Cameron.
Yeah. Oh my God. She's like, I have this like super nerdy, like, you know, annotated travel book. And like Maya being kind of a bitch, she's like, oh yeah, that's super nerdy and silly, as she pulls out her
same
own
book. And they're like, did we just become best friends?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And so that was such a cute bonding moment in the story. And it happens like throughout the book with other characters too. But yeah.
I think it also, this was one of the first moments where I think Maya could have been kind of a controversial character where she's like not likable. But I think this is like a key moment where she can be kind of like confident, like almost not overconfident, but like very like open, can talk with anyone, and kind of has like a mean streak, but like it's like a well-meaning mean streak. You know what I mean? Like she could have been like a not likable character, but she has this kind of like, oh, you are kind of a good person on the inside. Like
she's not abrasive, but she is definitely, she doesn't play any games.
Yeah.
And she says it like it is. And I think that's why probably you relate to her so well, because I can see a lot of similarities.
I can see that.
But Maya, she is so unlike all of Ali Hazelwood's other characters, like ever.
Yeah.
Most of her other, like Maya has her own underlying insecurities and issues, which I think is what makes her so readable. But all of her other like STEM heroines are like kind of not timid, but uncertain and insecure.
Yeah.
That's not Maya at all.
No. Because I keep thinking about Scarlet from Deep End. Like if you could get the exact opposite, that would probably be Maya.
Yes.
And so they show up, and then she is, you know, dreading the moment. She's looking out on this like beautiful like tableau of, you know, the Italian countryside. And in walks the person she's been dreading seeing.
Connor Harkness.
Oh my God.
That sound should be illegal, and I don't think we're allowed to record it.
That's fair. We just got a little like X-rated for a moment. And I think this is when we cue the first
flashback.
Yeah.
So Connor, by the way, Connor Harkness is a colleague.
They're like best friend colleagues.
Yeah, of Eli, Maya's brother. And he's 38. And he's
38.
He's also very wealthy, like disgustingly wealthy, mansions all over the world. Yeah. From an Irish family?
Yeah. He is part of a, I think like hotel group or like resort group or something. Is his dad was a piece of shit. So it's generational wealth, but he like went out on his own and also made his own money. But it's also a little bit colored by the whole like generational
you can't
wealth thing.
Make it like, it helps to have generational wealth start to have, it's okay. But
yeah.
It's a fairy tale. We'll stay in the fairy tale.
So the first flashback, Maya is in Scotland. This is where the foreign country that she decided on going to school there. I think it's like Edinburgh.
Yeah, it's for her graduate degree, I think. Or her
I think it might be her
Bachelor's?
bachelor's. Because she's, like, deciding which master's program she wants to go to. But, yeah, she's at school in Scotland. There we go.
So this is 3 years before the start of the wedding.
Oh, yeah, yes. She is living off of campus with, like, 2 roommates, I think. One of them is her, like, best friend. They've been friends forever. And then her best friend's cousin. She has a long-term... I know. Whoa. So she has a kind of long-term boyfriend for the past year.
I don't know his name.
Doesn't matter.
Is it Tyler?
Tyler feels right. I don't think it's Tyler, but like he has Tyler energy.
Yeah.
This piece of shit decided...
Aiden, that motherfucker.
Oh, that's it. He decided that, his relationship with Maya was just like not really working out because he fell in love with her best friend's cousin who lives with them. Yeah, and they started immediately hooking up, and he just thought that Maya should get over it because, like, she can't get in the way of true love.
And the best friend sided with her cousin. Her cousin's name is Rose. Yeah. Rosie?
Yeah.
And they're all like, I don't see why this is a big deal. Like, you guys fell out of love. No, he fell out of love.
Yeah.
That dick.
Maya is, like, losing her fucking mind. She's like, my therapist would tell me to breathe, but what the fuck is wrong with you people?
And she's got 3 months left on her lease, so she can't even escape because she's in a foreign country and she's trying to finish her degree, and they're just being assholes.
Yep. Out in the middle of, like, their living room, just fucking on the low, and she's like, this is fine.
And, like, she and Aiden were together for,
I think, a year. Yeah.
And this is her first, like, big, serious, like, long-term relationship. Yeah. So Maya it's the middle of the night, like 10 o'clock at night. She's in the park. She's, like, losing her mind, crying, having a breakdown because everything is overwhelming to her. So she decides to call her brother. She's like, I can't take it anymore. I need to, like, put all this on someone. She calls her brother's work line, cannot get through because he's out of the country. They mistake Maya for another company, like representative from another company, and they patch her through to Connor, who she met as a teenager. So Connor has been, like, adjacent to her life for several years, like when she was a, like, gawky, awkward, troublesome teenager, and, like, never really on her radar. So she's patched through to him, and, like, he's talking to her as if she's the CEO of this company, and we finally get on the same page. Yep. And he's like, Maya, as in Eli's Maya? Like, what is wrong? And then she proceeds to lay everything out.
Yep. I will say it's not immediate because I think she, like, hangs up. She's like, I'm just having a really hard time now. Yeah. Beep. And then he calls her back. I feel like he's just one of those people that's like, I'm going to insert my, like, presence into your life and you're just going to have to figure it out because, like, you're fucking up. So I'm going to unfuck whatever's going on.
He calms her down and he spends an hour on the phone with her. And, like, she's eventually, like, able to, like, come back to herself. And she's like, it's fine. He's like, no, I'll get you a hotel room. Like, let me handle this. Let me save you for something. And Maya, I appreciated this about Maya. Maya's like, I have my own money, dude. Like, Eli is my brother. I'm fine. I'll handle my shit myself. And so she hangs up on him, but it's not unpleasant. It's just she's gonna...
I think I might be misremembering it, but doesn't she, like, start to calm down and then she, like, says something and she's like, but it's fine. I'm, like, better now. It's okay. And then she hangs up and he's, like, unhappy.
Yeah, because yeah. This first flashback will seal the deal for... Like, I said a lot in the beginning about this book. I finished this book in, like, one day. Like, it is very, very readable. So she goes back to her apartment and she is hearing voices. It's like 3 or 4 hours later because she went to the library to kill some more time. But when she finally gets back to her apartment, there's Connor in her kitchen in his, like, Italian leather shoes and his 3-piece suit.
And he pretends like they met each other and he's getting his second chance with Maya.
Because the story that this man makes up on the fly was that, okay, remember when you were on holiday in Ireland, you and Aiden together, and, like, I hit on you at the bar, but you said you had a boyfriend? Well, now you don't have a boyfriend.
The whole time Aiden is like, what is happening? I don't know that I love this. And Maya's like, oh, whatever. And so they walk into her room. She shuts the door. They have a conversation. Maya's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Doesn't he pretend to bang her?
Oh, yep. That happens immediately after this. They grip onto the door frame and they start making... some nice, pleasant noises. And then they just talk for the rest of the night because obviously he can't just like leave then because he is going to pretend to be in love with her for a little while.
And then the flashback ends. And if that does not build your anticipation for the rest of this story, oh my God.
So back to the present, I think they have their like first dinner. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This will turn you off a limoncello for a little while.
Yep. So they go to this fancy dinner. Maya's kind of like dreading the whole experience. She doesn't want to spend any time in Connor's presence except Misaki. What is the girl's name in their little trio of I don't know. So there's a girl that works for, Connor and Eli. They're all friends or whatever. She has a young daughter who Maya is absolutely like in love with. She loves kids and they're like best friends. And so that kind of like plays a piece in all of this. And so she's like, I don't want to see Connor, but I want to see everyone else. They go to this dinner and she's like, oh, there's like Connor, this is fine. It kind of starts to like mellow out. She like walks off with the like young girl.
Doesn't she find out at the dinner that the woman that she rode in on, Tamarin, is Connor's ex?
Yeah. Because I think there's like another girl too.
So Minami, that's the mother of the kid that Maya likes.
Yeah.
She's also Connor's ex.
Yeah. But there's a third one.
And then there's another woman, stunning blonde woman, also Irish, who is like Connor's +1 at the wedding.
Yeah.
So there's 3.
Maya's like, this is fine.
And they're all like stunning professional women in their like early 30s. And Maya's like, I'm finishing school.
Yep. And I think that's kind of like one of the fun parts too, because everyone at the table kind of makes these like sidelong comments about her being the second youngest. And then they're like, oh, the only person younger than you is the like 3-year-old. And she's like, okay, I'm not really that young. But it's one of those important things because it kind of like drives home why Connor is so like yucky feeling about this whole thing is like, I'm so much older than you. But it's like kind of like made worse by all the comments of everyone in their life.
I'm thinking back to when I first started working. The job that I have now, I've had for a very long time. That's how we met. When I was 22, 23, working with people in their mid to late 30s, I did not see them as like peers. I saw them as like, oh, you're old. You're going to go living in a nursing home soon. Like they were so far away. Like it was like interacting with a different world. But I can see from Maya's perspective, having gone through what she's gone through and the life experiences she's had, where she would feel really disjointed, like not being included in a dinner like this. So
especially because I think the only other young girl is like Rue's best friend's younger sister, who's still older than Maya. I don't remember what her name is.
I don't either. Unimportant. It's not Connor, it's not Maya.
But they have like she tries to help all of this going on. But Maya like walks away. She's, minding the child or whatever. And then obviously Connor comes up and he's like, what are you doing over here? You need to be careful. And she's like, I'm fine. I'm just like watching the kid. And of course, the little girl is like obsessed with Connor. And so we get all of these very like loaded looks of either of them taking care of the child and the others staring at them like, okay, let's put the fucking eyes away.
You are so hard in your mom era right now. Yeah. I can see why this like would definitely push you further into the story.
Did you skip over his whole kink thing in the later parts of
No.
Okay.
I remember that. That was fucking weird. Yeah. We'll get to it.
This is the foreshadowing.
Oh, I didn't even think about No.
Yep. So they're obviously like locked in when either of them is, being a parent. Anyways, one of the I think he's like a hockey player friend of Eli. He breaks out some locally purchased limoncello and everybody's like, oh, cool. Until they all cheers with it. But Maya and Connor are, walking to the side. They're not drinking anything. Somebody vomits and then everyone vomits.
And then everyone is out for like hours. The whole household gets sick.
Yep.
And Maya takes this opportunity to kind of plan her next day. She's going to go out in the town. But before she does that, we get another flashback.
Dun dun.
It is like a little treat every time you turn the page and you see a flashback. So Connor is still in Scotland visiting Maya, and he's getting ready to go home, and she hits him up. She's like, hey, like, I know you're not here for very long, but my friend's having a birthday party. Do you want to come? And he does. And it's so cute.
They basically spend, like, the whole
3 or 4 days.
Yeah, together completely. And I think it's one of those moments where he's like, "You're actually kind of, like, fun, like, I enjoy hanging out with you." And it's one of those they both are like, "Oh, we should probably go do other stuff, but, like,
This is
do you wanna go do something else?" And they're like, "Sure."
I think, if you're lucky enough to meet someone like that, when you start dating someone, every moment feels like that. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you just wanna spend more time with that person. So it's cool to see that written down because that's exactly what it feels like.
Mhm. I will say there's something that feels very natural about the romance in this one, like, yeah, there's, like, tropiness in it, but I feel like there's parts of the initial flashback bits that feels very, like, real.
It does. Their interactions feel more natural and like how normal people would interact. Like, I love her earlier books, but those definitely feel like rom-coms, like 90s rom-coms.
Yeah.
Like formulaic a little bit. This is like, oh no, Maya's a real person.
Yeah. They spend the whole day together. They go to this birthday party. And I think this is one of the first parts or first times for Maya, at least, that she sees like the significant difference between Connor talking to all of the people at this party.
That would be such a stark contrast.
Because it's like life is pulled together. And I think she even observes that they're all like obsessed with him. And they're like, do you want to like invest in my like crypto thing?
I know, that was really cute.
But it's like exactly like, 20 something dudes watching this super successful 30-year-old. Like obviously they're going to be little, hero worship.
And then that's it. Like she starts drinking a little bit at the party, but then the flashback ends and we go back to the next morning after everyone gets sick in Italy. And she is on her way to go explore the town. And Connor kind of walks out at the same time and he's feeling fine. He's like, do you mind if I go with you? And Maya's like secretly like, I really want him to go with me, but like, is this a trap? Is he going to yell at me? Because he was also kind of a dick to her when she first arrived in Sicily, which is like, he called her a child.
Yeah.
And she's still kind of ruffled about that. So as they're walking to the car or something, Tamarin comes flying down like the manor villa's steps. She's like, oh, are you guys going into town? Can I come with you? And Maya, I felt for Maya so hard in this moment because she's like, God,
kill me.
I can't say no because she's a nice person, but this bitch.
Yeah. And that's how Maya ends up sitting in the back seat is, the adults.
The adults go on a date into town.
Yep. And it's so sad. I love like some like good sad angst because they're through like a theater or an amphitheater or whatever, like ruins. Connor goes to like take their picture, and so they get like a moment together. They get their picture taken. He's walking back, and the ex-girlfriend is like, hey, like, would you mind if we just like spent some time together? I know it's kind of weird because you wanted to be here too. And Maya's like, no,
I'm gonna go.
I totally get it. I'm gonna go. You guys just have like some fun time together. And she disappears.
I love this. I love what like that angst where like the characters don't know and they're like deliberately removing themselves and making themselves suffer.
Yes, do it again. I love it. That's what makes me want to read this again. It's just I ate up all of these moments of like them like missing each other, but like secretly. Oh God.
So I think this is probably a good place to kind of pause.
Yeah.
I do think we should go through some similar books.
Oh, fair.
So obviously Twilight. If you enjoyed Twilight as a teenager, yeah, read it again. You might enjoy it again.
I know.
Wild Magic is very, very young, but it has almost an identical problematic age gap.
Yes.
Where the hero is definitely conflicted about it and does nothing about it for 3 books.
Yep.
Until he does, and then it's questionable. And then you actually have The Emperor's Edge.
Yes, The Emperor's Edge series by Lindsey Buroker. If you want like a steampunk fantasy that kind of like plays with this trope, in that one, he doesn't think he's good enough for her. And she's like obviously blatant in all of her flirting. And she's like, can we just like get together? And he's like, no, I'm like a villain. And she's like, okay, get over it so we can go fuck. 8 books later, you finally get.
Oh, man. So that is actually very similar to Evermore by Lynn Viehl. It's the same, like, tortured hero doesn't think he's good enough for the the heroine, and she's been in love with him for years, and it takes forever for them to get together. But 2 more recs that have, I would say, modern day, if they came out like now, would have trigger warnings in them.
Whoa.
So Prince of Dreams by Lisa Kleypas, who I talk about all the time. This is another age gap, like at least 10, 15 years, if not more. And he is a friend of her father's, and there is some... I hesitate to call it grooming, but it's very similar.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I did not finish this one. But if you are into age gaps and you like that kind of thing, that's Prince of Dreams. And then finally, Storm Over the Lake by Diana Palmer. I mentioned this author in the Pick of the Week episode on this one. So Storm Over the Lake is about a very wealthy CEO businessman and this young journalist who's 20 years younger. She moves into his house as like not a nanny, but like a housekeeper thing. But she's also like trying to get research on his business and do like a bio on him. It's very angsty.
I love it.
Very problematic. But if you like age gaps, there you go.
I feel like all age gap recs are going to be like a little bit inherently.
This one is so I can't legitimately recommend this book, but I have read it like 10 times.
I get it. I feel that. That's that problematic summer romance.
Yeah, there we go. So, yeah.
It's problematic, but you're going to eat it. Whoa. We're going to end on that.
From our shelf to yours.
We'll see you on the next page. Hi, readers. Like what you've been hearing? Check out the Spice Archive at notanotherheroine.com to see all of our reviews and ratings. And if you'd like to support our growing library, find us on Patreon and get access to exclusive bonus content.
If you'd like to just listen, we post new episodes every Monday and Wednesday on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Thanks for listening.